Take a look at this mailbox. This was the official mailbox of Denmark. Most Americans never seen one. Most Danish people will never see one again. After 400 years of delivering letters, it ended its service in 2025. Denmark has become the first country to end delivering letters and only deliver parcels now. But why would anyone in the US care about some postal service in Europe? Well, here's why.
Postal Service could run out of money by the year 2027.
Now the U.S. Postal Service could run out of money in just a year if nothing changes.
Back, the head of the U.S. Postal Service warns it could run out of money in a year if Congress does not step in.
See, the post office has been in the red for years, and now they have 1 year or less to get their act together. So the question I'm trying to answer is not how they ended up here, but can they be saved? Let's look at how it's structured. What isn't known is that the Postal Service is not actually a business. It runs sort of like a non-profit organization, giving the public a service with no true return. On an operating basis, they're funded by US mailers either shipping a package or by buying a stamp. Each mail piece is essentially a cash positive for the entity, and this funds everything from their trucks to their payroll. If you think about it, it operates like the US highway system, where once you're going far, you have to pay a toll. In the case for the Postal Service, smaller pieces like letters or small parcels pay a small toll, while bigger parcels pay a bigger toll. But since parcels are much of the Postal Service's revenue, they get there quicker through the expressway. But unlike the highway system, which can be privatized if they wanted to, the Postal Service can't. And because they can't raise prices for shipping fees. But why is that? To break it down, the Postal Service we know is overseen by 4 layers of governance. At the top of the chain, there's the Congress who created the USPS, as well as set the rules it can operate in. Ultimately, they have full control over prices and can change the rules as they see fit. Then there's the PRC, or the Postal Regulatory Commission. They approve proposed prices and make sure that the Postal Service proposed price fits within the rules of the Congress. They're kind of like a referee. For example, if USPS wants to raise prices from 66 cents to 72 cents, they take it up with the PRC, and PRC sees if it works within the rule structure the Congress has set in place. Third comes the Board of Directors, where an 11-member board sets a big picture strategy for the service. They can set new prices and service models, but they can't unilaterally make a decision without Congress or the PRC allowing it. Finally, the Postmaster General and management. In a nutshell, they run the day-to-day operations. They can request prices, adjust services, and restructure the operating aspects of the Postal Service. Now you can take a step back and see, after all these layers, why someone could be paying the same price for sending a package across town than they would across country. The thing I find interesting about the situation is that even if Congress approves a law that says prices can no longer be fixed, there's still some laws that would block that. Enter the Postal Act of 2006, or PAEA. It was this act that fundamentally shifted the rules to what we see today. Notably, it did 3 things that year. It created an annual health payment the Postal Service must pay out to their employees, structured USPS pricing into 2 different categories, and strengthened the governance by making USPS detail every big proposal it wants to make. The first thing was that it set up a health benefits fund for its retirees. They did this because they had to follow 2 systems, the CSRS, which since the 1920s has been a system for federal employees covering their retirement, disability, and survivor benefits, and the FERS, Federal Employment Retirement System, which since 1983 pays out 3 parts: a basic annuity, Social Security, and a savings plan for employees. So because of the system, the Postal Service is obligated to pay health insurance costs to current retirees. But the 2006 Act changed that. So from the years 2009 to 2016, USPS was scheduled to put into about $5 billion into the benefit funds. But this model wasn't sustainable, and ultimately by 2012, they started defaulting on the pre-funding payments. Congress eventually had to waive the required payments because if the Postal Service still continued to operate like this, they wouldn't have enough to pay their current employees. In 2022, they repealed the pre-funding mandate, making it so that Postal Service could pay retirees on a pay-as-you-go basis. Although retirees must enroll in Medicaid, their second coverage would come from USPS. And the debt they accumulated from missing those yearly payments was also wiped out, so they didn't need to pay off any outstanding debt. Well, how nice for Congress. After 12 years of finally operating in the red for the Postal Service, it finally decides to repeal the 2006 Act. But aside from that, what was another factor? Ever since the beginning of Amazon, they've been using USPS. Even the founder going on record saying it's their oldest partner yet, though they didn't even have an official deal written in document. As the e-commerce giant came into maturity, so did their business with the Postal Service. It was mutually beneficial as Amazon needed to be able to deliver packages nationwide, and with the mandate, USPS had to deliver to every address in America. Amazon was able to use that and add last-mile delivery coverage to their business model, something they weren't able to replicate on their own. And it benefited USPS because it gave them a consistent stream of revenue to help absorb the slow cash flow their fixed market was bringing in. Amazon fitted under their dynamic cost-based framework, and it was just competitive enough not to piss off Congress, but also to offer Amazon volume discounted rates. But recently, Amazon is becoming hesitant on continuing their partnership with USPS, saying they plan on reducing volume after their current contract expires. In 2024, Amazon delivered 6.3 billion parcels, which was 28% of the parcel market. USPS led the parcel market with 30% of it and 7.3 billion parcels being delivered. And because USPS is in need of some cash at the moment, they put out a competitive bid for their last mile delivery network. It's something that honestly the Postal Service should have thought about earlier. Leverage something that would draw in competition. Since the average American mostly shops online now, partnering with an e-commerce company with their digital footprint and volume would be in their best interest. There's been over 1,200 bidders so far, with winners set to come out in Q2 2026. So who knows what players might take control over the delivery routes. Many citizens have complained that USPS should just cut down on the days they deliver mail to reinforce better operations. Which makes sense when you just say it, but what are the factors actually blocking this? Under the Reform Act of 2022, it requires 6-day mail delivery for every U.S. address. I mean, there's been attempts in the past, but nothing to make Congress lift the law. Not only that, but it would make the Monday volume double or even triple what the regular days would be. And if there's not enough staffing to match this, it can cause problems. Speaking of staffing, this could hurt their T6 carriers. These are employees who step in as replacements when the regular mailers aren't there. They could lose their jobs, causing a strike to happen. Another factor is stiff competition in delivering 7 days a week. Some mailers would probably shift carriers if USPS decides to reduce days, opting in for convenience of time over price. And with the way things are looking, I'm not sure USPS has the luxury to do that. With the new Postmaster General already several months in, some shifts need to be made ASAP for this service. Because if the Postal Service collapses, what does that say about America? Maybe they raised the debt ceiling, maybe they raised the prices. We live in an economy where we receive more packages than we send out, which makes most of the features the Postal Service offers obsolete. Whatever magic trick they decide to pull, Americans would love to see it. Or would they? Because if Denmark was the first to shut down part of their postal service, who's to say America isn't next? Well, that's all my takes for this video. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the situation.